Hello all, welcome to Sakshi classes. How are you all? So today we are going to discuss about sampling techniques, and here we will study about the probability and the non-probability sampling techniques. So firstly, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon so that you can get all the notification of my upcoming videos. And please follow me on Unacademy also. There I was teaching for the paper 1 and paper 2 commerce subject, and there my courses are free of cost, and in that courses I am covering the whole syllabus with the previous year questions, so it will be beneficial to you to watch and it will enhance your learning also. So to understand the different type of sampling techniques, firstly we have to understand the word sample means and the sampling means. So when we do the sampling, there are the two main things which we have to understand. The first one is the population and the second one is the sample. So to learn about the sampling, firstly we have to know about the population and the sample. We can say that a population is the data that we have to investigate. So the data for which we have to do investigation is known as a population. Suppose in this circle there are different type of people. They are called the population as we have to investigate about them. We have to collect the data in the form of them. So this is known as a population. But if we are taking some of them, we are randomly or we are choosing some of them to take the data or information from it, that means we are taking a sample. So there in this diagram we said see that there is a data, that means that there is a population we have to investigate. Now sometimes population is a big and it is impossible to calculate the data or do the investigation for the same, so we select the sum of the units from that entire population. We have selected the sum of the units from the entire population, which we call them as a sample. Okay, so sample is a part of a population. We can't say that sample is a different from a population, but the sample is a part of a population, and the process by which we select the sample from the population for the investigation purpose is known as the sampling method. Hope you understand this thing. So the sampling is the process of selecting a group of individuals from the population in order to study them and characterize the population as a whole. Okay, so now we have to discuss about the different sampling technique, that is the main propaganda and the main objective of this class. So there are two types of sampling techniques. First one is the probability sampling and second one is the non-probability sampling. So here in this video today we are only discussing about the probability sampling, and in the later video we will discuss about the non-probability sampling. So probability sampling is of the four types, that is simple random sampling, systematic sampling, stratified sampling and the cluster sampling we have to discuss today. And hope you will get the answers of your whole the questions in my today video, and I will try to clear all your doubt relating to this topic. So in the probability sampling method we have to study the four type of method, that is a simple random sampling, cluster sampling, systematic sampling or stratified random sampling. So we will discuss one by one. So firstly, what is known as a probability sampling? The probability sampling involves the selection of elements from the population. That means we are selecting the different element from the given population, and we can say that there is an equal chance of selecting the units from the entire data or a population. So there is an equal chance of selection, that means there is a chance of a selection is a half, we can say that. And this is also known as the simple random sampling. For example, I will give you an example. There is a coin. In a coin there is a head or there is a tail. So what will be the probability of getting a head? So the probability will be the half, because there is an equal chance to draw. So this is known as the simple random sampling, or we can say that the sampling. But now the question arises, what are the techniques and how does we have to use that sampling method? We will discuss it later. Firstly, we have to discuss about the characteristics of the probability sampling. It refers from the sample as well as the population. The probability sampling can be drawn from the both sample, or we can say that from the population also. And then every individual of a population had an equal probability to be taken in the sample. That means I have given you the example of a coin, that is a head and tails option. What is the probability of getting a tail? That is a 1/2, and what is the probability of getting a head? Is a 1/2. So there is an equal chance for doing the same, and it may be the representative of a population. We can say that the probability sampling is giving the representation of the given population for which we have to acquire the data or get the information from it. So the simple random sampling, so it is in which each element of population has an equal independent chance. Equal independent chance is necessary in the simple random sampling, and this is also known as a lottery method. We can say that in the simple random sampling, the most commonly used method which is used in the simple random sampling is a lottery method. We see there are the many lottery tickets, many population get them, but only the winner is a one. That is what comes under the simple random sampling. We are choosing a one randomly from the entire population. How does a simple random sampling can be done? By using the lottery method, there is a need for complete listing of a member of a population. Firstly, if we are using the simple random sampling method in a lottery method, then we have to firstly get the complete list of the population who are participating in that participating in the game, so that we can use the simple lottery method, or we can say that a paper chit method. The numbers of all members are written on a piece, and yes, this is an example. We have a piece of paper on which every individual we can say the sample names are given, and the researcher, or we can say an individual, can draw a random person from it. The researcher draws the desired number of samples from the container. This process is relatively easy for the small population. Yes, this process can be used for the small population, but it may be difficult and a time-consuming process from the large population. Now, stratified random sampling we have to discuss. In this type of method, population is divided into two or more groups, that is known as a strata. Okay, that is known as a strata, and the population given is homogeneous, and we can say that the group are based on some characteristics such as the geographic location, age, income or status of subsamples randomly selected from the each data. Here is an example. There is a group of a blue and black and a red, and we can take the sample from each individual group. And how does the simple random sampling can be done? Identify and define the population. The first step is to identify the population which we have to take the sample and define that population, then determine the desired sample size. The third step is to identify the subgroups that are known as a strata, for which we want to guarantee appropriate representation, and then to classify all the members of a populations that are identified in the subgroups. Then systematic random sampling. It means that the sample is chosen by, we can say that a sample is chosen by selecting a random by selecting in a standard time in the fixed period interval. We can say that, or we can also say that it's an nth name selection technique. For example, we have a sample. There is a A I will show you with example. B, C, D, E. Just wait. I am writing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. The same series will be contained this, and this. I am selecting a sample randomly, a number that is a 2. That means I am selecting the whole row. It means that in that group of a sample, here we have 5 groups and we have to draw the samples from the it. What we do? Select the random number, that is I have selected the 2. It means that I am selecting the whole row. That means 2, 7, 12, 17, 22. And here we see that the 7 minus 2 is equals to 5. That means there is a gap. There is a fixed interval between them, and that is of 5 units. And that means the interval is fixed. So in the systematic random sampling, the interval is fixed, and we took the sample, select the sample according to that. Here is a random. I have chosen 2, then after that the 5. Then there is an interval of 2 units, then 8, then 11, and so on. How does systematic random sampling can be done? And then a question arises that how that systematic random sampling can be done. Firstly, identify and define the population. Firstly, we have to identify and define the population. Second thing is that we have to determine the desired sample size. Then from that desired sample size, we have to obtain the list of a population, and from that population we have to determine the nth value, which is equal to or by dividing the size of population. Then start at some random place in the population on the list that I have also told you in that example, and that take every nth individual on the list, so that we can do the systematic random sampling. There is a whole systematic manner in the sampling technique. The last one which we have to study today is the cluster random sampling. The process of randomly selecting the groups, not individual, within the defined population sharing similar characteristics. Here we are not selecting an individual, we are selecting a particular group which are sharing the similar characteristics. Clusters are location within which group of members of a population can be found. Here there is an example. There is a 6 groups. There is a 6 groups, and we are not choosing an individual from that group. We are choosing the whole the group. That means 5 or 6, 11 or 12 we are taking. So it is a sample of 2 clusters. For example, schools and classrooms. And in the cluster random sampling is done when the simple random sampling is almost impossible. When we have to do the cluster random sampling, we have to do cluster random sampling only when there is a simple random sampling is impossible, because the size of population is too big. So this is all about the cluster sampling and how it can be done. The whole step which we have learned in the systematic sampling are follows, and after that randomly select a needed number of the clusters and include in a study of all individuals in each selected clusters. So this is all about the probability sampling techniques, and for the non-probability sampling techniques I will upload another video soon, so that you can get the both videos. I hope you have understand the meaning of a probability sampling. So thank you all. If you like my video, then please like and share it. Thank you all.